teams.
Hello, good sir.
Hello, good sir. Hi, Say. That's jolly good proper. Is that what you were going for there?
Invictus Gaming, 1-2 and 0 on top of the group with 5 points. Newbee right behind them, 4 points. So Group B,
Group B is so tight. After NP got
Very up
that
in the air.
2-0 victory earlier today, like you start to question things. And Newbie actually had a rocky day today. They actually got 2-0'd out by Evil Geniuses, which is the reason why they're sitting currently in the lower part of the bracket.
there's no clear team in the forefront of Group B, unlike Group A. First pick, Magnus. Magnus, I still think he's very strong post-patch. He got nerfed a little bit, but still owning everywhere.
Yep. We seem to be seeing a lot of teams as well fitting him into almost every single lane. I think even Newbee were running him in the safe lane while pushing an aggro dual lane. We've seen him in the off lane, obviously the mid lane as well. Any way you can get that empower buff up working for you.
He's amazing.
He really is. And then you get an SK. Fantastic laner. You get Rubik as well, the bread and butter for Newbee, as well as for most support players these days.
Very good versus the Magnus. Very low cast point. It forces the Magnus to get BKB sometimes, which is not really ideal. You want to be able to get Refresher up ASAP, I would say, most of the time on Magnus. Or Shadow Blade, but BKB is very important so you don't get immediately lifted, stolen RP, and then blink RP to counter initiate, which is very, very common for high-tier Rubik players.
I was actually wondering with Newbee's first picks, like, because that was the hero I was thinking about. The Juggernaut was the obvious one to pair with the Magnus, and you bypass him in the first stage. Like, it would have been easy enough to go for the Rubik and Juggernaut yourself. Why SK over the Juggernaut?
I'm not sure. They do like Sand King. Sand King's a good pressure offlaner that I think is... I don't know. Maybe they also expected a Jug too. Sand King has that instant stun, which is really, really good. They have two heroes with pretty low cast points. Sand King also, he can lane up versus Magnus. And when you're picking Magnus, you are going to pick melee other cores. So you can kind of expect that something like the Juggernaut, Anti-Mage, Slark, something like that's going to be paired with the Magnus, which Sand King also does pretty decently against. Tinker ban. Tinker is not usual with Magnus, but maybe they are scared of
If it's going to be like a Magnus offlane Juggernaut safe and then just mass split.
But it's not. Tinker Mag is just not common at all.
Yeah.
So it makes me more think that Tinker is good against something that they actually want to pick. Terrorblade, Meepo. You definitely do not do Meepo here. Terrorblade and AM. I also think Tinker's pretty good against. What else is good? Yeah, that's about it.
And then they take out the Ricky. Ricky's been more of just a normal one anyway. I was trying to think about like the other heroes, which then like Ricky and Tink would be good against.
Ricky we see paired with Mag sometimes, but I think he's actually pretty good at dealing with Sand King. Maybe they want to pick Storm or something. Storm might be pretty good for them. Struggles in the matchup versus the Invoker, gets owned by the Silence, but not terribly great versus Jug. Might be tough. Get RP'd and die. It's no fun, man.
Tinker would have just been the easier one to tempo control for
But why?
Invictus Gaming. Okay, you get a Weaver now up for Newbee. They're really trying to be slippery at the moment. Obviously, Juggernaut's not going to bring any stuns to the party. The Magnus is the only stun for IG. But IG still have their supports to pick up. So if they want to, they can try and find some nice stuns against the Weaver. They still need something that's going to pull SK out of his Sandstorm without having to commit too much detection all the time.
Slardar, I think, is pretty good here.
Yeah. Wait, how is he not banned? Like, he seems to always be banned out, but now we're taking out Centaurs, taking out Monkey Kings.
Yeah, Slardar
Lifestealers.
is really good versus Weaver and Rubik. Earth Spirit's also really good versus Weaver, because the defensive items that you get on Weaver aren't good versus Earth Spirit. You get Lincolns, still get Geomagnet gripped, and then Boulder Smashed.
And still RP'd. And
still RP'd. Yeah, I don't know. I don't actually like Weaver that much versus Magnus, but meh.
10 seconds remaining.
may also just be for the laning phase. Like, Weaver is able to slip into different lanes.
Yeah, if they want to pressure the Juggernaut, it's pretty decent. But they already have the Sanking for that. Sanking's already
Yeah.
pretty good at it.
Unless you push the SK into a 4-roll or 5. Both Rubik
I
and
don't-
SK, no.
I don't like picking both supports at the very start.
Yeah. I don't think we've seen any team really do that. Now we get a Nyx Assassin, so... Okay, well, that throws the question mark up even harder.
Nyx Assassin is also not... Newbee's draft is very strange.
Yeah.
It would... If you look at it when Invictus lineup is not in the game, I would say, like, yeah, it's normal lineup, Rubik, Sanking, Weaver, Nyx. But Nyx is not good versus any of these heroes. He's, like, okay versus Magnus, I suppose. But BKB on Magnus, he's probably already going to I1 for Rubik. And then you had to deal with the Nyx Assassin. And the Nyx Assassin, they're going to have a tough laning phase. If they want to do Nyx off lane versus Juggernaut, it's not great for Nyx at all. And there's also no int heroes for him to really mana burn.
Or you just push him into that support role. Now IG, like, this is just full comfort zone for them. So it should be off-lane Mag, safe lane Juggernaut. The Lina could be a support, however, but most of the Chinese teams have been leaning towards putting the Lina in mid.
I'm down with them mid.
Yeah.
Her mid.
And Juggernaut safe. It seems comfortable for them.
Yeah, Yule's carrier versus Nyx is always quite nice.
Yeah.
Deal with the carrier picks quite easily.
There has to be something more to this Newbee lineup. Like, they wouldn't draft this without...
Their mid heroes last though, so
Yeah. Who really caps off this lineup?
I don't know. SCCC plays a lot of different things. Invoker, I think too slow here. Can just get RP. They don't have a save for him.
What about the SF?
SF, I think similarly. I don't think it pairs up well against Juggernaut at all. Juggernaut just omni-slashes him. Then what do you do
Can
with
you
SF?
get away with Templar Assassin? I know Earth Spirit's going to cause a lot of problems for her, but...
Templar Assassin is better than the other two, but still not that great, I would say. Yeah, Earth Spirit, as you mentioned, kind of problematic for the TA. What else is there? Quap's okay, but not really favored by Newbee recently. Ember, I think, is okay, but you can get smashed by Earth Spirit. Earth Spirit limits a lot of the mid options.
Maybe they need something different. Like, what else can you throw in the mid? Like, if the Lina is going to be in mid, like, what do you get which just outlanes a Lina normally? Like, if we ignore the rest of the draft, what's just good, like, list-wise against Lina?
Viper.
Radiant team pick.
But they're not going to pick Viper.
No. That's not an SC hero at all.
OD is not even that great, but it's probably one of the better options I think that they have.
Don't worry, they need to...
Storm will get crushed in lane versus Lina and Earth Spirit.
5 seconds remaining.
Anyone that can tank through it.
Yeah, it's just not really great. TA is probably the best. I think TA is really good versus Lina in lane. I think we're actually one of the best in lane. But then, let's see what IG picks up last. Only one hero to synergize with the Empower. It's not ideal, but...
It's still good enough when it's the Juggernaut. Like, it just creates his flash farming without having to pick up a Battle Fury. And it's a Crystal Maiden, so they're going to take both the sisters. Lina will be going to the mid. And then you run the Crystal Maiden as well as Earth Spirit support. Seems really solid from IG. Like, you'd want to back it just straight off. And Newbee need to make this work somehow. Like, is there anything else that you can switch up? Like, is anyone in the Newbee lineup able to go into the mid?
No.
No one.
Sorry, Rubik, but SCC is not going to play Rubik.
No.
They need a scaling core. So the thing is, Crystal Maiden is really good versus some of SCC's heroes too. He's really good versus the Storm. The Root is really good. Ember Spirit also gets owned by the Root. So those two kind of gain less value here. So do you really want to go TA here? I think TA is the only option.
Oh, they're going to go Invoker instead.
Invoker it's tough versus Lina.
It at least gives the options for the ganks. Like, Newbee have something to work with, so if Nyx Assassin's able to scout someone out, you can get that Exort to help you out.
But team fights, though. What's their team fight? Their team fight is terrible.
Yeah, I'm not going to say that's going to be a great part of it. Like, Nyx Assassin's going to have a lot of work to do in these upcoming fights.
And
Rubik's-
Rubik, too. Yeah, Rubik
Yeah.
has to steal RP, and Nyx Assassin has to hit some godly carry bases.
Yeah, okay, so that's the way to solve the team fight. Let me just get the most powerful ultimate for a team fight which is currently on the field. Yeah. Good luck, Rubik. Enjoy that one.
Yeah, and if like Lina gets BKB, it's not gonna be easy.
How's it work for the laning phase at least? Because maybe that's what we look to. Like, can Invoker be shut down with the Earth Spirit rotations? Is Invoker the primary target, or should he still be looking towards the Weaver, the SK? Or, then again, we're not exactly certain who's going to be the offlane, the SK or the Nyx.
I think you shut down Invoker. I think
That's it. You just make sure the Invoker doesn't get him.
I think Lina's a really strong mid. So Lina against Invoker is already like not that great for the Invoker. Invoker might have a little bit of trouble CSing because he's going to be constantly harassed by Dragon Slave. But then you have Earth Spirit coming in to set up a stun for the Light Strike. Whew, that's tough.
Newbee, why did this become so difficult so quickly for you? But they are up against the team who are #1 in the group at the moment, and if Invictus Gaming can hold their nerve and execute nicely, they will be keeping that top position. So, off we roll. Quick smokes, double TPs out from Invictus Gaming. Burning's headed south. Earth Spirit's actually holding on to both of the Observer wards, so Burning's TP
Well,
looks
they
like he's
pulled him
just
a
here to
TP.
make sure they cannot do the block.
I'm surprised that they pulled him a TP though to do that. Usually the supports will TP themselves so they can drop a ward down. But yeah, just making sure that he does not get a ward down. KP does not have an observer ward. Burning's actually really far back. He's not actually going to see that KP didn't drop an observer ward. What? How would he bounce so quickly?
It does seem odd.
I think
Like,
he's
the
just,
TP doesn't have a lot of sense to it.
maybe he's worried about getting jumped. Because he's the only one down there. So they can like lift into Sand King stun into a bunch of right clicks and he'd die. So
Their Observer ward just scattered out U9 on the top lane. Maybe they're also thinking about the lane switch-ups. Like, if Newbee is doing something a little bit odd,
I think
and Newbee are going to come and try and contest the rune. There's 20 seconds to go before that rune's going to spawn up, and they smoke up, and they bring U9 after showing himself up on top. They're sending KP to the top lane, and this is going to come in to be what Newbee always used to do, putting KP on the safe lane and running this aggressive lane. If Faith can get in range, he needs a telekinesis grab over on Q, and then Kaka can follow up. Won't happen, so they'll just take the runes.
looks like that smoke was worth it. But KP does get the impale onto XXS and will nail that top rune. So runes will go 3 in favor of Newbee.
Don't know if that's exactly what XS was looking for, as now he doesn't have the impale for the lane.
It's okay. He gets level 2 pretty quickly. He's just in a straight one-on-one situation.
Oh.
If it were like 1-on-3, yeah, you're very worried. But yeah, one-on-one, he's fine. It's gonna be bad. Maybe he can't get that range creep.
Kaka
Woof, woof.
was blocking. The sentry ward's planted down, but is well off target. Oops. Actually, it blocks up the pull camp for Newbee, so they can't drag off to the side now.
I think that's fine because they aggroed. I don't think as the Radiant side you're really going to be utilizing that pull. Because
Rolling
it's
boulder?
really strong.
U9 is just too quick. Shikuchi's away to safety.
He hasn't even skilled anything on Q yet. He actually skills the Nova level 1, which is better in a try-on-try situation. Getting a lot of damage out of that. 100 times 3 instead of the just a little bit of damage from Frostbite, 150.
I still want to keep a very close eye on this timing, because I waiting for someone to get chipped down a little bit and then have that Sunstrike from Invoker arrive. That's what's got to make this tri-lane work. At the same time, Invoker's not having the greatest time in mid.
Yeah, it's a rough matchup.
Yeah, he's 7-1 up against 4-1. He's got the creep wave in advantage, so it's not as bad.
Yeah, but he already had to pop himself. It's 1 minute in.
Well, U9's low again. Has Shikuchi himself away. Brought a lot of tangos this lane and completed up an entire wand as well. Hoping for a lot of spam to get the regeneration up. Kark is making his way over for the 2-minute runes.
I'll take your tribute.
Yeah, Wanda, kind of a necessity in this situation over here. And CM can't play greedily. That's not a good life as a CM, but she's already level 2, so not the biggest deal. So we see an Orb of Venom coming out from Nyx Assassin. It's pretty unusual, but
Well,
pretty
he's
decent for the
going
101.
into this like this melee versus melee just punch up between himself and the Magnus.
Yep. Got to be able to harass the Magnus out of lane, but I don't know. It's just tough because normally you'll just focus really heavily on CS because if you try and harass the offlaner, he'll just shrine and.
Well, this could be good for Kaka. SE wants to fight. He's pretty low, and Kaka, Burrow Strike, now triggers off, and OP is down low. The Rolling Boulder comes forward. There's no real kick. That's a level 1 Earth Spirit trying to create space. But that 2-minute Invis rune allowed Kaka just to slip up the lane and catch the Lina by surprise.
That's the only one that would have yielded a kill because they have that Observer Ward in the middle lane. A haste rune potentially could have yielded a kill, but unlikely.
Yeah, she managed to get... So Kaka took both of the bounties plus the Invis rune, I believe. Yeah, he got both the bounties and the Invis rune and still found the gank.
Yeah, there's still a lot of pressure on SCCC though. Despite that, gank OP is still #1 on the last hits chart. And also Magnus is doing very, very well versus the Nyx Assassin. So all in all, things going okay for IG.
Mm-hmm.
Burning, still getting okay CS, even with U9. So it looks like actually pretty break even in all three after the first blood is taken into consideration.
Yeah. Would have thought Burning would have got zoned out a lot more, but it was U9 taking all the early damage.
They had the Sand King rotate out, so it's only 2 heroes down there. They can't really do that much versus the Jug.
But U9 is now running bottle too. So advantage for him where he can be a little bit more aggressive. Also quite easy for a Weaver to pick up that healing ward when Burning wants to drop it down. There's no points in it for him now, as he only hits level 3.
I would like to see a Blightstone come out ASAP on U9, because you have 3 heroes in a lane, you're getting extra value out of the Blightstone when you're trying to right-click the Jug when he's spinning, or go in the Crystal Maiden, or something pretty similar. Voka, SECC.
Oh, the Burrow Strike, perfect timing. The Sun Strike will connect as well. One more hit will do it. Kaka will take it.
Middle tower is under attack.
SC actually survived the initial damage that OP was doing to him. The raindrop soaked up most of the damage from the Dragon Slave.
I think I calculated the efficiency of getting Raindrop versus Regen, and Regen is actually way more efficient in terms of just considering the straight HP part. But if you're worried about getting bursted down, yeah, the Raindrops are way better. Or if you need that little bit of mana regen, the Raindrops are better.
Kaka's looking for an opening. Bubaka's going to be here. The Observe Ward planted down, so Kaka starts his harassment. Burrow Strike out. Do we have that extra Sun Strike to arrive? A quick kick. Connects in towards Fate. The roll out, but Earth Spirit picked up and thrown back down again. Burning the spin damage will help get the kill. And Kaka is going to be the one to die. U9 diving under the tower for the Crystal Maiden. Claiming that one too. Had the ability to do so when the Scarab Beetles were just trailing on her coat.
Some really good play by the Sand King in this early game. He's died, but he's one mid, I would say, for SCCC, and he's kind of one bottom for them too after killing the supports a couple of times.
He's coming in again for the mid. Push down the Observe Ward. Waits for OP. OP's actually burned all of his mana, and SC is going back to base as well.
I think he can...
Whoops. U9 gets picked up on the bottom lane by Burning. Not even an Omni Slash. Looks like must have been a simple Frostbite into spin. And nothing Faith could do about it.
They could have potentially TP'd in Evoker into the mid lane after popping the Shrine, but looks like they wanted to prioritize a little bit more experience onto the Sand King. Top lane still pretty quiet, both melee heroes, very even in terms of CS, and Nyx hasn't actually picked up a bottle himself for some regeneration in lane. It is quite important for that safe lane to have regeneration, and the innate regeneration doesn't seem to be enough.
Yeah, both teams are actually running bottles on their offlaners. I say offlaners.
Gotta get those bounties.
Gotta get those runes. With those wards. Bottom lane, Burrow Strike's coming in. This is what you're waiting for. With that Sunstrike damage, the Geminate attack from U9 should be able to do the last bit of damage to kill off Burning. As Q will be safe under his tier 1 tower, and the TP support comes a little too late, is Magnus, who actually comes to the bottom lane. Now this is not scouted out yet, but with Faith's position, well, Magnus doesn't roam up.
And Magnus has swapped places with the Jug. Jug has TP top lane to
But
deal
he might just lose his life if he's not careful. The Burrow strikes out, Sunstrike comes again. XS gets hit by it pretty heavily.
They would have been able to dive that had the Swarm been off cooldown. U9, it just came up for him. Swarm is so good in try-on-try situation, and the ability to tower dive with Swarm on enemy heroes is really, really strong.
Spinning going on top lane. KP needs to hide, able to do so with Vendetta. No detection available.
Is under attack.
Karka's trying to be a real nuisance as well. He's trying to make sure that bottle stays empty on the Magnus.
Yeah, maybe he can skewer him away, but I don't think he sees him at all.
KP's running towards the mid. There's one sentry ward, which now highlighting a long way away. With the Sunstrike's coming in. KP will steal the haste rune, and with the haste rune, he knows OP can't fight him back.
Where is the help for this?
For the Lina?
Lina, yeah.
Doesn't exist.
Lina's getting smashed in terms of kills, but Lino's doing great in terms of CS. SCCC's Midas is not coming out at the coveted 9-minute mark, but 0 and 2 on the Lina.
So actually getting so much work out of KP as well. Like that's his first proper rotation to find that kill. Then the other rotation coming in from SK. Gonna be your 2 Blink heroes later on.
Sunstrike coming out
Right.
on Q, perhaps. Do they actually want to kill Q? Looks
Oh
like it.
yeah, they'll take anything they can get. Crystal Maiden, pick her up, throw her around. Sunstrike perfectly in the mark, skewer forward. RP, they don't have enough damage just yet. Magnus, where's that last little bit? Faith gets the hit over the tree line, but now wants to keep the run going, but the rolling boulder forward. It's a double kill for XXS.
Dang, that stick, that RP by XXS, right place, right time.
Wait, just KP. No Omni Slash available. KP's back to the tower. That money which he gets, that Blink Dagger is so close for a Magnus now. From the 2.
Does he want that first?
That's the question.
I like Echo Saber a lot on Mag, but we haven't really been seeing too many Magnuses go for it. It's a lot of Midas, actually, because his talents are pretty good.
I know you mentioned it before, like the Echo Saber is just so good because of the farm you get from it, so you eventually get your Blink Dagger anyway.
I think in this game, too, it's...
SC's dead. Perfect kick. Fate's going to try and help out. Needs a good pickup. Can only grab the Earth Spirit, pull him back in range of the Tier 1 tower. With the help of U9, they can get a trade-off at least. Careful of the sentry ward. KP's going to walk in range. So visible for just a second, and burning is level 6. So with Omni Slash up and running, they have to be cautious.
Invis Rune picked up by Nyx. Maybe they can do something with that. I'm surprised UU9 did not time-lapse that. Like, he's at critical HP because he did not time-lapse the small bit of burst from the Lina.
Maybe he's trying to bait him into fight. Like, you could see KP moving in like you wanted to engage, but you need a bait for that.
No, he wasn't baiting. He just,
He just didn't do it.
just wanted to use his Shrine on bottom.
Okay.
No biggie.
They're giving space now to Karka on the top lane, looking for his own Blink Dagger. Burning spending a lot of time between the lanes. Actually pushes him now back behind the net worth of the Weaver. Not exactly certain how I feel about that, but I suppose it's a lot better when the Magnus is skyrocketing his farm up and sitting at the #1 net worth on the field.
Looks like he will be going for the Blink next. Want to win those team fights. Skewer. The Invoker. I think, yeah, even Blink Skewer, I think, would be his death. Especially when they're pushing. He's their secondary tower hitter, I
Well,
suppose.
the Burrow Strike allows KP to actually hit him with the Vendetta. And SC, okay, Karka Insurance Epicenter. But SC finds the kill with the Sunstrike. Perfect timing when he uses his first Midas charge as well.
That's why Instant Sun's so good. Like, even if you're a Nexus and you're trying to impale out of the Vendetta, good Juggernauts can still dodge it with the spin. But something like Burrow Strike from the Fog is just nigh impossible to dodge. Easy tower for OP.
And Faith didn't actually steal the Dragon Slave in time, so the creep wave did enough work they could just stand there and tank the tower.
And that's the Blink. Smoke purchase immediately. Time to get a RP kill.
Interesting where he TPs to actually do it.
Top to smoke through the jungle to try and get Invoker. That's the ideal play.
This also then explains why Bubaka
Wait, where's
committed the
Smoke?
sentry ward before.
They didn't smoke.
It's coming on the courier. There's 2 smokes over on the courier. Did he run in range of the creep wave? So far, he's been lucky enough to
he hasn't been
avoid
in the creep wave.
all vision.
Dire has you scan. It is not actually where Magnus is hiding because he's hiding on the left side.
And then Radiant Scan behind the tower. Now they both flag. Now they both hit red. There's no epicenter still in for Newbee.
Oh, that's a really good sentry ward. Oh my goodness. Normally you don't see one that deep. But Nyx Assassin, you know, usually you feel pretty safe right outside your tower.
Yep. Now he's actually very, very visible, but the stuns, they just bounce burning around. RP will connect, and RP, well, it's not what's stolen. Faith will move forward. The extra Burrow Strike will be there. Going for the quick skewer. Lina, has she got the survivability? Kaka makes a break for the tree lines, but gets brought down by the shockwave. Still the Light Strike Array holding U9 in position, allowing both the Magnus and the Earth Spirit to get back in range of their own Tier 1 tower.
Jug's dying so quickly. I think he needs a health talent in this game. Maybe Jugs have been going phase a lot, but I think with Magnus, it might actually be better to get Treads for the extra little bit of agility. Because I don't really think you need the attack damage, just because with Empower you already get so much damage, and you generally want to stack agility so you get more value out of the Empower. And it would give him more HP. I think he'd be quite tanky with like Treads and Magic Wand and Raindrops and all that good stuff, so that he doesn't constantly die to all this magic damage, which has been happening to him.
I just want to watch this Nyx Assassin cam almost. KP's still got a decent amount of time left on the Vendetta, so he's just watching burning. Looks like top lane, Burrow Strike, skewer back, Weaver in a lot of trouble. Cannot time-lapse out, and it will in fact be a death of the T1 tower. 36 HP, so it's in deny range, but no one there from Newbee to deny it. And KP continues this talk. He wants the extra stun from Kaka. That's what he wants, and he's not going to get it. It was the same combination they used up on top lane before.
Vendetta just ran out, though.
Yep.
Pretty unfortunate for Newbee.
I don't know if there's really another way that Kaka could have approached that, because if he pushed the lane, like if he came off the lane, it would have been a little bit too obvious.
He could have potentially hid in the fog to the right side of the trees and then stun him from the fog and then wait for him to come in. But that's very low probability. But still better, kind of better than what happened. As soon as he sees the next pop, he's just going to spin away, or could just spin TP. Invoker's had a lot of alone time. Going for the drums early, a little bit more HP, 6 strength now from drums. And I think strength's pretty important so he doesn't get bursted down by the Lina, because the Lina's always going to be looking at Laguna, that juicy Invoker.
Have that survivability. That bottom tier 1 tower has been given away for free. KP was trying to work out what's going on as the smoke from IG. KP was pretty close, but he's already started to back up.
Magnus has Midas too. Dang, he's farmed.
A lot of money on him.
Yeah.
Now KP, he breaks the smoke. He actually triggered his Vendetta. They don't see him, however, but because KP got dusted, he realized that he was surrounded and TP's away to safety. That's going to be the luckiest position to break that smoke.
Yep, those trees. Woo.
Most powerful unit in the game.
These roamers from Newbee have been playing exceptionally well. The Sand King and the Nyx Assassin duo. Constantly putting pressure on Burning. Like, Burning, you know, he had to use that healing ward on bottom, even though he probably would have been like, what, 80%? After that, let's see what talent he takes. He does take health. Okay, so yeah, he knows he just doesn't. He just needs to not die as Juggernaut. Yeah, he already has Empower for the damage buff, so got to make up for the weakness. That's always a tough call for talents. I think that's a very well balanced one. The 20 damage versus 175 health.
There's a lot of support on bottom lane. And that level 2 RP now available for the Magnus. And Newbee aren't going to get involved. SE reveals himself going underneath the Observer Ward on top. The Sentry Wall was actually just out of range of the Radiant Obs. But if Newbee refused to fight, IG will just push.
No Sand King blink, so no epicenter threat really coming out from Newbee, which is just going to make this push very, very easy for IG.
Yeah. There is the trade-off. SC's taking that top tier 1 tower. Support is sitting behind him as well, so if someone from IG did want to come back to defend it and get the better trade-off, they had the chance, but IG are not stopping. They look to the tier 2 tower, that's a buffed up Juggernaut. They have the bonus damage. Lina wants to have a good fight now with a fresh Bloodstone on OP.
Oh, Kaka's showing, though. I think if Kaka weren't showing, they could actually kind of bluff him into thinking that he had a blink, make him play a little bit differently. But if he shows, it's pretty obvious that there is no blink coming. XSS. in the right spot.
Oh, the skewer pulling back Kaka. Does Kaka have enough to get the burst? No, he doesn't.
He was rooted. Really nice play. I like the coordination from Boboka and XSS. They're getting stuns during the skewer, so there's just no chance.
Oh, Boboka comes over. KP's watching the TPs arriving. Can't get the secondary stun, and he needed to over on Q, because Q was able to frostbite up SC, canceling the TP out. So when Invoker will fall, you've cleaned up the bottom towers. Invictus Gaming, this is a good couple of minutes.
That was a really good flank from them. Or Spirit coming from the tower. I think he came from the T3 actually, and then
Yeah, he came in from the tier 3, and then the rest TP to the shrine.
yeah, that was a really good flank. I mean, the strength of their lineup is starting to show though. They can fight like that was no RP being used. With the blink skewer into the boulder smash, it's kind of like an RP, maybe even better because you have less cast point on. You have less cast point on that. You can just blink skewer instead of having to wait for the RP animation, and it's a little bit less time for the dire side to react. They really need the blink daggers coming out though. Rubik definitely needs a blink so he can counter initiate on the Magnus, and Sinking definitely needs a blink so they have some sort of AoE threat when IG push up. But right now, it's all good in the hood for IG.
Faith with his 73 damage, attempting to get the last hit in the tower. But yeah, they are arriving. So SK has his blink you're asking for. Rubik is sitting at 2k, so that's going to work.
Rubik
KP
needs to not die.
is still hunting, and he realized he's visible. Spike Carapace was up. Will turn for a quick stun onto Boboka. But Magnus, he'll come in. RP will turn him around, and Kaka just lets KP die. There's nothing more he can do about that situation. But without the Nyx Assassin, without that threat, Invictus Gaming look confident enough to just go straight down the mid. Faith, what are you going to get? He's going to actually take the clearance. So he's got the Dragon Slay plus his own Fade Bolt, throwing the Magnus around. Just to get the AoE stun, holding OP in position, allowing U9 with that double damage rune to do a large amount of damage. And here comes your Epicenter with the Sunstrike as well. Burning and XXS will have to actually tank it up mostly themselves. Faith will tick out to the urn. Nothing he can do to stop that. Newbee, it looked like it could have actually been amazing in the mid, but turns out to be mediocre, if not disastrous.
Oh man, if they had a meteor, did they actually get a combo off during the epicenter? Oh my god, if they had a
don't
meteor
think so.
blast with a strike, that would have been so beautiful. But not enough damage coming out from them. Sunstrike comes out, doesn't look like it was able to connect on anyone. Great epicenter. Unfortunately, he was just not high enough level. No Veil, no level 12, no follow-up damage. And Rubik died right before the Blink Dagger. Oh, it's even worse.
Man, and if U9 had just a little bit more damage, maybe he could have got that original kill. It just didn't seem to be, and now he's actually building into a BKB over on the Weaver. There's obviously a lot of magical damage on the field. Silence is also an issue for him.
I think BKB is the right choice. I don't like Lincoln's at all versus the Earth Spirit. Earth Spirit will just crush you. So,
But would it be more worthwhile getting like an earlier Desolator or something along that line so he has more damage?
no one else is really synergistic with the Dezo minus armor though. Invoker's not really able to do that much. A lot of the Invokers
Oh,
take
this is an easy kill. Blink, Burrow, Sunstrike, KP will just help out with a bit of damage. In fact, he actually has to end it. But the Skewer, they pull back in KP. The Sentry Ward, oh, they don't even need it. They'll commit the RP instead. Hold KP there. And Kaka's on the run, dusted up, so Sandstorm won't help him. Neither will his one charges. And it's a double kill. That's now the 8th kill for this Magnus.
He is playing so well.
Look at his items. Like, he's got Shadow Blade, Blink Dagger, running that Midas, now already dreaming of picking up the full BKB.
Yeah, he's there's just not really that much they can really do to stop the Magnus at all. And these fights is all on the Rubik, but Rubik just got his Blink Dagger, and even his positioning is like very, very difficult because he just has to wait, and the natural inclination for support is to actually help your team out, you know, before these spells come out. Maybe get a little bit extra Fade Bolt, get the kill. Now double Shadow Blades coming out. No one's safe to farm out. They do have a smoke on Faith. They just smoked close to the Dire Secret Shop, and they're actually picking up the haste runes. So
Did that Obs Ward see it?
No, it did not. I don't think so. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it didn't. But they're playing like it did.
Yeah, they're TPing away, but they might also just be doing it because IG's looking to go for Roshan. The Aegis Immortal behind, they'll be happy with that. Unai's not really pushing this bottom lane anywhere near hard enough to make IG think they've got to back up. In fact, now the TP's coming over from Newbee. Rubik comes in close. The sentry wall is down, so KB has a Spy Carapace running himself in. The Spy Carapace moving completely wasted. Burning just spun himself up, looking for the kill onto Roshan. Meteorite's already dropped down, but now you let it go. Faith can't do much inside that. In fact, the Dragon Slave will kill him. Burning is still trying to finish the job, able to do so. Has the Aegis to the Immortal. A quick time lapse out by the Weaver. Gets him out of the pit and into relative safety. And Invictus Gaming repair most of the damage with a healing ward. It's Maboka who was hunting down Kaka. Has he got a kick? Here she flies, but it won't hit the target. But IG are already ready to push.
That was very risky from IG. They went in without RP during that engagement, but I do like the play from everyone else outside the pit just to make sure that they can't get inside the pit at all. Earth Spirit is playing like a god this game. Maboka is, I would say, I mean, the synergy between him and the Magnus is just incredible this game. They're just making things look super easy and fluid. Oh boy.
And they're going to keep going. Rotate up towards top lane, remove the last outer tower. We're not even, like, this will be done by the 25-minute mark. Net worths belong to Invictus Gaming as far as, like, 3 out of the top 4, even though Weaver is pretty close behind. It's the grass which are going to start to swing up. With all these towers going down and SC having less space to farm, the Midas is still doing work for IG.
And IG don't have to build BKBs. That's one of the downsides about playing against Magnus. You need to go some defensive items, but you don't really want to because you'll still die in BKB. But you'll die even faster without, so what do you do?
It almost feels like an all-in at this point. Like, unless IG make a mistake, Newbee's not going to get this momentum back.
Nah,
and OP just found
make
himself a
big
free
plays.
kill.
It's about Faith.
Oh, boy. Yeah, about Faith?
Yeah. Well, in the team fights, that is.
Not in those moments. That was 2 basic attacks from Alina with the Laguna Blade. Not too bad. And then you also get yourself an Arcane Rune. What's kind of missing here from the Lina is still having that Yule Scepter.
She doesn't need it. She's just going straight BKB, it looks like. BKB is definitely better, I would say, at this point in the game. If you're not going to go Yule's first item, you might as well just go for the BKB later.
She bought the BTs before finishing up the BKB.
Hell yeah.
Maneuverability, split push galore, and then join the fight.
Well, you need to, because if you die, you have instant respawn, but you can't actually get back in the fight if you're like pushing, let's say, unless you have BOTs. So I think BOTs are very, very important on the Lina. All jokes aside, it being my favorite item. Hell yeah.
And KP is scrambling for any kind of CS he can get. Anything which brings him closer to that Blink Dagger.
He's getting a 4-staff. 4 staffs. I don't know. I just feel like they're all just going to get crushed by RP. Like, Invoker gets RP, what do? He doesn't even have BKB. He's just dead.
Just push him out as quick as you can. Like, as Kako's getting that, the Blink Dagger is still coming onto KP. So they both still have their blinks. OP, there's your jump. Okay, there's your commitment. Faith getting solo RP'd, skewered back. 42 seconds without the Rubik.
He's the only one that can make plays. I actually think RP is the way to win, even on a Rubik. It seems overkill, but I think in this sort of game, you don't need to take a risk. All you need
is that counter push. Sunstrike's right on the mark on top of OP. He needs to get himself away. Shadowblade will help with this. And then a blink, a skewer. They found SC, Laguna Blade. You'll let the ultimate go as well from CM. The freezing field does a little bit of work. Invoker with a buyback. IG already feel like they've won out in this fight.
Uh-oh. They're resetting with Healing Ward, though, and I think they can just go again. The only thing that's really down for them is RP, I would say.
Well, they have the Aegis for another, like, minute. Just a bit more than that, minute and 10. Faith. Back to the wall of the living. KP looking for the follow-up stun. The Tornado throwing OP around. He's still going to be alive for a while. The Burrow Strike is perfect. Lina will go down. She's instantly alive practically. It was 2 seconds on the sideline. And Newbee need to do damage before she gets back in. But with those BTs, she's already onto the front lines. So you jump in. The Spike Carapace from KP, stunning her up, allowing the epicenter to connect. OP, all those wonderful Bloodstone charges go down the window or down the drain is the line. Burning, spin TP out. There's not enough damage to kill him in time. But Invictus Gaming basically get wiped by Newbee. The buyback of the Invoker was the cost, but it
Jesus.
seems to be worth it.
Invoker's damage that fight, my god. 5,500 damage?
Radiant's middle tower
That's ridiculous for that sort of fight. He pretty much took Lina down twice, easily took down the Magnus, and yeah, they felt confident enough that they could push even without the RP because everyone had healed up and they had the Aegis, but Lina just got annihilated. The lift, the Rubik lifting her into the base without having the BKB up yet on the Lina was definitely the downfall of IG. But still, Invoker did have to buy back, but that should be a pretty hefty net worth swing in favor of Newbee.
Yeah. The Invoker buys back, but still sits in the top 3 net worth.
It was really
So-
important that he did buy back there. I thought
Yeah.
I thought they were actually just gonna just all run away and be happy with their spoils, but they got greedy. Greed kills.
And Newbee, they keep their hope sort of alive in the game by having that. Fresh Diffusal Blade now gets purchased up over on U9.
They slowed down a lot with that. I think it's more than a hope. They got the godlike streak or monster kill streak on the Magnus. They killed Lina twice, so now she's down to 6 bloodstone charges when before she had instant revive.
Yep.
And they squandered the Aegis with look how much damage that T3 tower took, like 231 damage.
They're running over.
under attack.
KP. RP is going to connect the skewer back in, and it's going to be a very dead Weaver. 60 seconds without him. Because he bought the Diffusal Blade, there's no buyback available on the Weaver.
Weaver actually didn't do that much in the last fight, though, so I still think they can hold, especially if they are able to chain stun the Lina down. Right now, her death is not instantaneous, so or her respawn is not instantaneous.
As he's trying to make the most out of this time. He's up on top lane farming up his Blink Dagger. And realize everyone is missing. No one was pushing down the mid. So Sun strikes the catapult and now has money for his Blink.
Smart play from him. Not taking that many risks. Neither of these teams are really, I suppose. It didn't really look like they were, like, I wouldn't say that was a risky play going back in after the healing ward, but got punished for it with no ultimates.
Newbee's going to smoke up. Weaver still isn't ready to come and join him in the fight, however.
He can TP to the shrine.
But Lina is also not there. So this would be a 4-on-4 on the top lane. Don't react to the Juggernaut illusions either. They got the assembly blocked. Karka, blink forward from Faith. Karka doesn't find the target. Sandstorm's up the hill to try and find a little bit of vision. But being nighttime, they really didn't see much at all going out for that smoke.
Good blink from Burning. Uses the Manta to get a little bit more vision so that they can't get the jump on him before he blinks out. Midas on KP, so KP's getting back into the game after the mid game being pretty rough for him, or his team, I would say. Newbee in a pretty good spot though. I think they've shut down this Magnus to the point where he was on track to just be out of control and get Refresher, but now he's forced to build more defensively. He has the BKB now, so Rubik isn't as big of a deal. Same with Nyx. And he's going for a Lincoln Sphere. Lincoln Sphere is pretty good with the BKB because that's the only thing that can cause problems is a stolen RP. And with BKB into Blink RP, there's no possible way that Rubik can steal it.
It potentially can also protect the Lina. If Lina is looking just to
Hell
do the
no,
damage
dude.
at the
You
tower,
don't, you
put her
don't
on the
protect your
front.
Lina. You only do that if your RP's down. Screw that. Lina's BKB, man.
God, she's your tower killer, though. It's all for the glory of the tower killer.
Jug's a tower killer, I think. Because Jug has the... they're both
Yeah.
tower killers, I suppose. She was at level 20, I don't think, at that last push.
Just
But
she went for the attack range with a plus 50 damage and the negative 30 time.
everyone goes attack range now.
Almost everyone. From our
have we seen
Samael game, which was slightly different.
He went attack range. He just didn't go respawn time. Because he's a YOLO player.
Oh, that's right, because he didn't get spell amplification,
Yeah, no, I don't think anyone gets that.
and then he didn't get the fiery soul stack. He went for the negative 4 on the slave, I believe. He was pumping out a lot of magical damage in that game. KP visible under the sentry ward. That's the Forge Spirit coming in to scout out Roshan. They got another minute before he's up again. And I actually want to go back and double check that build because I'm now double guessing myself.
I know it was Light Strike Array and damage.
Yeah.
Actually, did he go cast range? I don't think he went cast range. He went Aether Lanes for cast range. Anyways, smoke coming out from Newbee yet again. Second smoke right in the middle lane. And they will try and wrap around, get control of the shrine before IG can get up there.
But look at the target. XXS is already here. He's got a gem and Shadow Blade, so breaks the smoke on Kaka, who blinks away, and now it's U9, the solo RP.
Jesus.
Wow, that's a very quick dealing with that. And again, like, he's so quick onto the skewer. RP into skewer, the Rubik.
Yeah,
I think that's now the third time he's attempted to actually steal the RP and failed.
He is so fast with that, though. It's actually ridiculous how fast he is with the Blink RP skewer. It's like he doesn't even need the stun from the RP. It's just to get them in a position so he can skewer back. I think what he does well is always turn before the RP. I saw him do it up on the top lane. He like skewers and then he like turns them back so you can get the immediate skewer out. And that little bit of time just turning around 180 degrees makes a big difference when you're playing against a Rubik. So XSS, he is playing very well.
He's too far away.
Yeah.
He BT too far out, and he already used the Tornado to push the bottom lane, so without the Tornado, they weren't contesting Roshan. And of course, without the Weaver.
Half damage on the T3 on bottom, though. Courtesy of SCCC. So how do they approach the high ground? Last time they got wrecked.
You're talking Invictus Gaming?
Yeah.
Well, the better thing is to wait for Newbee to come out, right? You get some really good vision outside the base of Newbee and then just rip him apart. But then again, maybe that's the other reason too. I was seeing Faith walking around with that gem. Remove that vision. Don't let IG get the vision to get a really good RP off and catch multiple heroes. Right now, XXS is having to be committing the RP just for one hero to get the one-man advantage in the fights.
I would actually like to potentially see the Magnus get a refresher Octarine. He's going for the super safe build, though.
Hello, Sunstrike on Earth Spirit. He knew he was going to take that damage the second he jumped up. Kaka? Out a long way.
Who's going to get RP next?
Well, Kaka definitely doesn't want it to be him. Even pushes himself deeper with his 4-staff and TPs out. But SC continues farming up. He has the money for the BKB, but won't have buyback as well if he decides to go for it. And it's the smoke maneuver from IG. Passing up. That's the bottom bounty rune of Dire side. And they see Kaka. Jump forward. The perfect kick. The silence to follow up. Tornado will create a little bit of space. Burning was able to get his spin off. It's KP who's caught on the opposite side of this IG lineup.
They didn't want to use RP on a hero with minus respawn timer, it looked like.
Oh, jump. It's the skewer! Faith! He actually drags the Juggernaut back into the tier 4 towers with the blink skewer of his. Now your RP will really connect. He doesn't get it once again. So quick on the skewer. Burning is the double kill. Now into your Omni Slash. Finds Kaka. A triple kill for Burning. Gems are dropped down. Faith able to recover it quickly. And the double buyback from Newbee. They have to punish IG. Something has to happen here. The Mana Style breaks free the Diffusal Blade charge. And Newbee aren't going to get anything. They keep their mid-racks alive, but the cost is very heavy with the 2 buybacks.
XXS not letting RP get stolen a single time this game.
It still started wonderfully from Faith. That blink skewer catching the Juggernaut out, but damn, Magnus has been on point.
Not a better way to put it than that.
Once he gets, like, I wonder if he even needs the Lincoln Sphere.
That's what I'm saying.
Like, with the way he's playing?
They're looking to prevent catastrophe, though. It's like insurance policy, right?
Yeah.
You could definitely lose the game by going refresher and getting RP stolen once. But if he goes Lincoln's, the chances of Rubik stealing RP and Newbee winning a team fight is just so minimal.
Self-confidence.
It's not even self-confidence. It's just like there is a window because there's a cast point on Skewer that you might get spell stolen before the Skewer. It hasn't happened yet, but that does not mean that it can't happen and won't happen.
Just keeping my eye on his quick buy to see if he does want to change. Nope, Lincoln Sphere recipe as well as Perseverance has been bought. And he just needs a little bit more money. And there it is. Ultimate Orb is up. So the Lincoln Sphere will be up for this fight. And Newbee are trying to force out the top lane, but you look towards mid, Juggernaut's Illusions are keeping the creep wave momentum going the way of Invictus Gaming. OP's even solo killing up. Okay, now he's got help to take out the Shrine, and Newbee is not in a position to try and turn and fight this. What they could do is finish the tier 2 tower on top lane, however.
They need to not fight. It's what they need to do, but IG...
You won't have a choice. IG's going to go straight down the mid.
Oh, they can split push to the left side.
Well, there's that TP coming back now. Oh, Lina was starting it. She actually cancelled her TP.
They're worried about her trap being set up. She doesn't have the Aegis. And you don't want to like have to BKB upon arrival. You could potentially get Epicenter right there in the next stun and then just die. So
Bobika's so close. Oh, he kicks the wrong way.
nice try.
Yeah.
Good blink by KP.
If he guessed the other direction, he would have found the kill.
It looked like Nyx was facing that direction though when he left that area. So
Well, Aghanim Scepters are rapidly approaching. Earth Spirit now only 600 gold away from completing his.
now XSS is going for a refresher. Post Lincoln's, even like refreshing Lincoln's not that bad. Double BKB, double RP, of course, most importantly. Empowering the Lina is actually quite nice for this game too. That's what I like about a lot of the drafts that have been based around the Lina. There's always some way to buff her up. Whether it's like Venjara or like...
It's kind of funny considering how
Power.
buffed she is herself.
yeah.
Like, what happens when she has the Empower buff up? Then you give her, like, her Fiery Soul stacks.
That's the thing. Any little bit of damage on Lina adds up to so much because she's attacking so fast. Like 50 damage adds up to like 150 damage per second on Lina.
Like, her attack speed is already 0.5 seconds.
Yeah, that's not even with max stacks. Oh,
Yeah.
Well, actually, she has that.
0.4 seconds when
I
she's
saw
got the 3 stacks.
3 earlier. But she has no attack speed items aside from Shadow Blade. No Bloodthorn yet, which is pretty common on her.
Oh, that trick of the Shadow Blade pretty quickly there. Maybe thought Newbee were on the hunt and she could be the one to break the smoke. There's that Aghanim's now up on the Earth Spirit for the next fight.
Oh, buddy. Who's he going to use that on?
Good question. We'll find out.
I guess he can just pull. He can pull someone who actually gets in a compromising position. The way they won the last fight was through Skewer into the T4. The way they won the fight before that was dragging Lina into the base. And how do you counter that? Drag people right back out. I think the Geomagnetic Grip pull is more useful than the Stone. Theoretically, you could just Stone them too. So I guess both work.
Fantastic Observer Ward up for IG. They see everything Newbee is up to, and it looks like Faith... No, he's not going to drop the Sentry Ward. This does mean XXS is on the hunt, and they find a good target. Kaka very quickly inside a Sandstorm, then blinks down. More support right behind him, and Burning trying to find that target. Kaka running back up past the Bounty Rune. Everyone is just hunting this Sand King at the moment. The kick will hit perfectly with the Shockwave, and Kaka is toast. Actually spent his money before death as well. Trying to hold on to his cash so he can get that Aghanim Scepter.
Can't run from our Spirit. Oh, now they have the BK or the Abyssal Blade up on Juggernaut. Oh my god, that's very problematic for Weaver and for Invoker, who's going to rely on their BKB to get them through the fight. Well, minus respawn time on Sand King means he's up in 20 seconds, but that will mean they will get some free pot shots on the racks.
Yeah, they'll have to use Fortification.
Yep.
But you do also have SC with that Blink Dagger into Scythe, so that's his fresh item for this game. Sentry Wards are on the deck. You kind of want to get rid of that one. In fact, they have now done so with the Dire. And another one has to be dropped down. They can't get close enough to kill off the Radiant Sentry. Now Faith can.
Melee rack's already dead.
Yep. So the fight doesn't exist unless you can force a Kaka with that Burrow Strike out. He's going to be low. In fact, he's going to be dead. Burning just ripped him apart. The RP, oh, end up holding it, just letting the BKB go. Now the RP will be used onto U9. He can't time-lapse out. He started the animation, but it couldn't complete. Burning's Omni Slash was 100% on the Weaver, who has no buyback available. With a blink forward, Invoker will go down to the buyback. He had 2 minutes on the sideline when he died then. It's going to be one hell of a death timer for him. As IG are forced back out once more. I say that KP's low on life spike. Carapace is up. Continues to retreat.
They need to respect the Invoker. And they still have the... actually, they don't have any RPs up. I thought he had a refresher at this point, but not yet. Lina's back up. They definitely wanted to wait for that at least before anything else happens, but SCCC just one death away from potentially an IG victory. You know, Faith even stole it before the RP even landed, because he just wants to be super quick about it, and kind of that instinctual reaction to try and get that perfect spell steal off. But Roshan is being taken down. Tornado will get vision inside the pit.
Yeah, but OP still doing so much damage. The Sunstrike's going to help, and maybe this pickup over on the Earth Spirit to drop him down before the fight begins. 73 seconds without the Earth Spirit, and now meet the Skewer. SK can't be involved. Burning does so much damage. Roshan already belongs to IG. Burning just hits like a truck.
Yeah, with Empower, he has level 25, so he has the agility talent. Whew, so much damage. And he has a lockdown to boot with the Abyssal Blade and the Diffusal Blade, so no one's running away from him. And BKB is not terribly useful versus RP and versus Abyssal. Well, RP is up in just 6 seconds time.
Well, there's a Hextram SC. Looks like Burning just doesn't care. He's got both Aegis as well as Chi, so he'll cycle these in and out later on.
I wonder if he's actually just going to pop the cheese right now.
God, look at OP's damage time.
Yeah, plus
I want to see him buffed up like properly again. Like the attack speed he had to get rid of that Scarab Beetle was just so quick. Now you're RP. They found the Weaver. Laguna Blade damage. Buffed up by the Aghanim Scepter. Now Lina will be stunned as OP needs to retreat out. Weaver, he bought back. SC's triggered his BKB as well. Lina has to trigger the BKB himself. He'll protect him from the epicenter damage. The push away. Kaka's so low as Q. He lets it go. U9 no longer protected by his own BKB. Able to get the stun to Burning and they actually push him down into the fight. But it's the Aegis Immortal they will be triggering.
Wow, he was so fast about swapping that cheese into the Aegis immediately.
Wonderful double kick. The Skewer back up again. The damage with the Omni Slash. Invoker's gone for a full 2 minutes. This will be bottom racks at least.
UU9 is their only hope, but he's almost dead.
And running behind. He can't TP back.
He can't TP back. I mean,
he's got no shrine to work with.
He has a shrine in the middle, but Lina's already there looking for a potential kill. KP gets Diffusal down from his Cyclone and another 2-man Skewer. That is just, that's
game.
brutal.
That is game.
XXS, you are a monster on Magnus. My God. That was some phenomenal Magnus play.
That was a 10-0 Magnus at the start. I kind of want to jump in. Like, I'd love to see how many people he hit with his RPs on an average. Is that even an average game for him? Okay, it's a slightly above average game.
Dude, he was so good though. Like Rubik had no openings to do anything. And yeah, first pick Magnus. They tried to kind of deal with it, but generally you need overwhelming team fight to deal with Magnus. I wonder if teams are actually going to start changing their draft a little bit to deal with Magnus. The safe way is just ban it, but sometimes you do have to let it through. So, some suggestions are like Wraith King. Okay, because he's very ultimate based. So you just tank an RP, or you have like Wraith King maybe.
True, but with the way XXS was running that, like it wasn't even just about the team fight. It's like you just pick off one person each time.
Yeah.
So it's almost the same way as like they used to run like Enigma. Like, you blink, you black hole, you take one hero kill, and you don't care at that point.
That's true. But what other heroes are pretty good? Like Tide Hunter, I think, is pretty good because he actually can't get stun locked. The problem is you get stun locked from 100 to 0. So you need ways to deal with it. Either a second life through Aegis.
Yeah, like LOA, like Abaddon.
Yeah, well, Avernus is usually he's banned out like almost even
Almost
higher
every game.
priority than Magnus. But there has to be some more options that teams have to explore in order to deal with the Magnus because Rubik, it's more of an old school counter, but it requires very precise play. You want like an easy counter. It's like, oh yeah, just come and RP me, dude. Doom, I think, is also pretty good because Doom has Scorched Earth, so it makes it very difficult for the Magnus to blink, and they're actually quite tanky, and he does not deal well if doomed. So, there's definitely some heroes out there that I think could work better against the Magnus, but you'd have to shift up the picks a lot more than what we're seeing currently.
Well, Newbee don't have a lot of time to think about how they want to shift the picks, but they're going to have a little bit. So we'll have ourselves a break and come back and see if Invictus Gaming can 2-0 this and really cement their position in that winner's bracket semi-final. Or will Newbee fight back, tied up at 1 apiece, and keep Group B the tightest group of all? We'll be back.